Rich Eisen from the NFL Network will join us. Can you improve the preseason, Rich?
It's not improvable at all. There's no way to improve it. I guess the only way you can do it is to have fewer games. But, I guess that's what they're studying in that regard, as you just said. So I don't think there's, other than what you said, too, lowering the ticket prices. I was glad to hear that is being discussed because that's one of the biggest complaints that I hear from fans who go to games, which is something that the league is really trying to improve too. The in-game, in-stadium experience and the ticket prices for preseason is their number one complaint, that they have to get those tickets and pay full price for those just to get in the stadium for the games that they want to see during the season.
Speaking of the season, the team you want to watch in the preseason, is there one that you're really interested in?
I guess, obviously the quarterback situations for any of these teams. Because RG3 isn't playing, but the ones that are trying to determine who's going to be their starter for the season. Because there's really, how are you going to determine what Brady looks like with his new weapons? I guess the one game that I'm interested in seeing, although we're showing the Patriots and Eagles on Friday night on NFL Network, the Jets and the Lions interests me, obviously because of Geno Smith and Sanchez. But I'm also keen to see what Reggie Bush looks like in Detroit, because that's something that few people are talking about. In the Schwartz era, if there's such a thing, the best they played was when Javid Best was in the lineup and offering a major matchup problem out of the backfield. I believe that's when they started 5-0. Best gets hurt. They go 500 pretty much for the rest of the season, one and done in the playoffs, and then they haven't made it back since. If Reggie Bush can offer that difference, that could make the Lions a much more viable threat in that division. So that's one game I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's interesting now that the GM of the Jets openly rooting for Geno Smith to be the. Imagine that if you're Mark Sanchez, can you kick more sand in my face here? Now John Idzik says he's openly rooting for Geno Smith to be the starting quarterback.
Well, it's interesting how allegiances come to the fore and how the New York media will cover absolutely anything that anybody says. And that's one of the things that you have to be looking for with a fellow like Idzik, who comes from a front office in the Pacific Northwest where maybe 3 newspapers are covering the team. And there are just 3 newspapers maybe in the island of Manhattan that's covering your team now. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But to me, it just seems right that if Rex is the guy to make the decision, and he says he's going to be that one eventually, even though, Idzik says something different, you got to go with Sanchez first, because if Sanchez doesn't work, going to Geno Smith then is something that, is viable in that way. But if Smith starts and doesn't work, going to Sanchez second, if he then flunks, what do you do then? What happens then?
Yeah.
So, I think they're going to end up going with Sanchez regardless of what the general manager is saying.
Fascinating, though. I do think that Geno Smith affords Rex Ryan another year, because if you're sort of good with Geno Smith or you're sort of good with Mark Sanchez, you're going to get rid of the sort of good coach and sort of good quarterback.
Well, they should then give him the year now. There's no.
But that's what I think they're going to do.
There's no reason to. Well, they should give him the contract now, before the season.
No. He's got to go Geno Smith to get that.
No, I understand, but if you're going to give him the pass of saying, well, the year is, we can't really judge you as the coach long term because of the rookie quarterback you were saddled with. If you're going to give him the pass, then what? I don't understand how you wouldn't give him the pass by starting Sanchez this year either, because of the weapons that Sanchez has at his disposal. this is not a team that's going to, despite what Sanchez says about making the playoffs, I can't believe he said something like that, as if we haven't already learned from what the coach has been saying the past few years. It just makes no sense.
You seem a little salty today. How come?
You know what? I don't know. I think I'm a little bit sweet and sour, if I had to say something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Chinese menu. Okay.
Yeah, that's
right.
I'll go. I'll go with that. But I'm getting ready for the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling it. Games really start tonight. The weekend, we're going to finally get some answers. Not too much.
But I want to see the Eagles' style. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm curious to watch your game on Friday night.
Okay.
NFL Network.
I'll tell you. And in high definition.
Oh, cool.
High definition.
Yeah.
Color.
High definition. How are you?
Yeah.
So you can watch the Eagle. I'd like to see what happens with that. We're talking to Rich Eisen from the NFL Network. His podcast, the 10 millionth download for his podcast. Guests include Larry David, another podcast going up with Matt Damon and Brian Billick. You can download it at NFL.com/Rich Eisen. How's Larry David as a sports fan?
Huge. He's great. He knows everything about the NFL. And his rants about how he truly believes he can be an offensive and defensive coordinator in the National Football League. And how you look in his eyes, he truly does believe it. They are hilarious, uproarious.
But can you tell when Larry David is being serious?
Yeah, I just think he is just a funny man who is serious in being funny. That's what I believe.
Look at you, man crushing here.
I do. I do. I have a man crush on the man.
Okay,
but I think most people do. You don't? Do you watch Curb?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is you. You'll love this conversation, Dan. There's very few times that I've said to you, you should download this podcast. This is one of them. He is off the charts hilarious in what he believes he could do if a team hands their playbook and play calling duties over to him. He truly believes it.
And you got Matt Damon. One of my favorite Matt Damon stories is that a lot of these guys are, celebrities. They call in and you have to go through somebody, and then you get to that person, and then you're on hold, and then you wait for that person to come on the phone. Matt Damon called up from his home in Miami, from his kitchen, and Fritzy answered on time, by the way. And Fritzy answers the phone, and he goes, Todd Fritz, St. Patrick's show. And he goes, hi, it's Matt Damon. And Fritzy goes, I think you were stunned. I think you put your hand over the phone. He went, Matt Damon called in. I go, okay, good. And I just thought it spoke volumes about him. He appears to be just, this is what I do for a living. I am famous, but I don't need all the pomp and circumstance here. And I like that about him. I think he acts that way in film.
Both Larry David and Matt Damon showed up by themselves. I like that. And Matt was going to, I believe, Leno's show yesterday. So he had, from what I assume, the Leno show providing a car. Larry drove himself onto the lot, and I just love that about both of these guys. And
what's Larry drive? A Prius?
Yes, true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Okay.
And with Damon. Both times, yesterday and the previous time, he looked, certainly the previous time more than this one, he looked visibly upset when we stopped talking sports and moved on to the subject of the movie that he was there to promote. And that was all. It just, he wanted to talk sports.
Well, these guys don't get a chance. When you talk to a musician, I want to talk music, they want to talk sports. An actor, they want to talk sports. And when I'm out, I don't want to talk sports. I'll talk to the fireman. Well, tell me, do you get chafing, or I don't know, let's just talk about other things. Then they'll always, come back. Or you get the person who feels like they have to sort of dumb it down when the sports guy's in the room.
Yeah.
When they go, so, wow. And I know what's coming. I go, oh, God. I can't talk about other things.
There are other, you are well-rounded, Dan.
You call me fat?
No. That's big in the community, right?
Oh, okay.
No, you're well-rounded.
Okay.
You're well-rounded.
All right.
I get the same thing, too. But, both of these guys are first-rate, really good, individuals, people who just happen to be really famous. and Larry truly does believe he could be a successful offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in the National Football League.
We'll be watching on Friday night. Are you going to be working?
Oh, yeah. I'll
good.
be there.
Look at you putting in a little time for a
What
change.
does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, I thought you were not going to be working during the week, that you only wanted to work weekends. You know,
What do you mean I
like
only
a Chris
wanted
Berman.
to work? See, now you are just putting words in the mouth.
No,
now.
I'm not. I didn't see you. You pawned all this other stuff on Andrew Siciliano. That guy's got to work from morning, noon, and night.
Dan. I was in Canton, Ohio, there for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, that's where the big guys are. You love to schmooze a little bit.
Listen. I am the man who punches the
No.
clock.
I'm going to edit that with
I am the
man.
You've got the editing equipment?
Oh, yeah. See,
by the way, speaking of which, did you see what the number one SportsCenter commercial was voted all time?
Yeah.
That was really disappointing.
You know what? Let me take a break. We'll come back and talk about those commercials.
Okay.
Is that all right? Look at that, 2 segments for you. I know you're a busy man.
Next
this
level.
Time of the year.
No, that's because I'm not being called into work because of what you just said.
I
refuse to work today until the big guns come out.
I want you to tell me
yes.
what the best SportsCenter commercial of all time is.
I've got it.
After the break. Rich Eisen joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Back with Rich Eisen from the NFL Network, celebrating his 10 millionth download of his podcast, NFL.com/Rich Eisen, also available on iTunes. They had a vote, I guess. They left it open to the public to vote for the best SportsCenter commercials of all time. I think of Robinson Cano. Don't you know?
Well, I mean, that's a good one, but I mean, calling it the best of all time was mystifying, to say the least.
We're going to go around the room, you and the Danettes, best SportsCenter commercial of all time. Fritzy, best one?
I liked the Sweet 62 one with the pulling up in the red Corvette.
With Mark McGuire?
Yes.
Yeah. When he gives me the home run ball from the 60,
I thought that was great.
60-second home run, I said, I'm going to treasure it forever. And then you see me pulling up in a Ferrari. I'd cashed in. McLovin?
I think you and KO doing makeup, which I think was 13 on the list.
I don't want you to suck up to me. This isn't the best ones I was in.
Yeah, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's
James
happening?
K. Polk?
James K. Polk, I thought was really, really well done because Rich Eisen didn't have to act. Paulie, best SportsCenter commercial.
James K. Polk, when he gets sent down, I love the lighting, the bad sound, the bad lighting. It's fantastic.
Seton?
Man, when Eisen sent down to James K. Polk, that's pretty special. What's the one where Charlie Steiner, though? It's like
Follow Me to Freedom?
Follow Me to Freedom.
The Y2K.
That was
Also
Y2K.
great. That one's really good.
Yeah, that was. I believe McGuire shot his in New York, right? Those scenes. You shot a few in New York.
That
Dan.
was during Lance Armstrong when he was the generator.
Right. You shot that in New York.
That was in New York.
And McGuire was in New York, too.
Yeah.
I shot my snippet of Y2K eating peaches in my office with John Randall. We was eating a can of peaches, and I was playing solitaire. That's a fun commercial. I thought the best one of all time was Don't Walk. Was the mock We Are the World singing about Don't Walk, not traveling
in the NBA?
with Kilborn.
Kilby?
That list was remarkably light on Kilborn. I don't know what was going on there, if there was something happening. But because I thought Kilborn was in some of the greatest SportsCenter commercials.
Wait, do you think there was something going on at the mothership to
I don't know.
Kilby?
I knew you'd love that.
But,
I knew that's chum in the water.
Yeah, but Rich,
Dan.
they didn't do that to me. They kept mine in there.
No, I know. I don't know what happened.
They can't be angry at Kilborn.
I don't know. I don't think so. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, see.
Remember the Oregon duck looking out the window watching the other ducks swim in the pond?
I liked Kilborn's pizza delivery when he crumbles up the guy, Glenn Jacobs,
Yeah.
One of the greatest moments of my life, he's handing a shot sheet to Kilborn. 2 words, pizza delivery.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
He was in some great ones. So, it's funny. I always think the best one I was in was the Lou Duval one where he works me over during the commercial break.
You're drinking tea?
Yeah, and the lines that he was screaming at me, they bleeped out in the commercial. And it's not because they thought, it would be funny to just bleep them out in the commercial, is that he did not give them more than 5 words consecutively that were airable to work with. They had to bleep him out. And they're like, Lou, just do what you're supposed to do with him. And he cussed like a sailor the entire time.
Go figure. All right, I got to run.
All right,
Thank you, buddy. Rich Eisen, NFL Network, host of NFL Game Day.